I was involved in a car accident October 17th of 2015. I was a freshman in high school, and I had just started a new school. I was making new friends. Everything was perfect up until that day. And a few weeks before my accident, my cousin, Ivy Adkins, began talking to this boy through Facebook. And they've been talking for a little bit, and it got to the point where they wanted to meet up. And we figured, why doesn't he meet us at my school's football game? You know, we'll be in a public setting. Everything should be fine. That day, he texted her and told her that he would have to plan for later because he had to get the oil changed out of his car, but we could definitely hang out with him later that night. And so we went through the day. We went to my school's football game. We went to the homecoming dance after. We were having the time of our lives, just being young and full of life. And we got home that night around 12, and about an hour later, he came and picked us up. He never stepped out of the car. He just texted her phone and told us that he was there. And so we get in the car. There was no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing in the car. This was our first time meeting him, so I don't think either of us really knew what to expect from him. We maybe were in the car for 20 minutes, and we ended up in a local neighborhood not too far away. And we passed by a cop car, and out of nowhere, he just guns it, starts going 60, 70 miles per hour in a neighborhood. And he tries to make a turn going at that speed, and he couldn't make that properly, and we ended up hitting into an embankment, and we hit a tree. When they found us, I was over the back seat of the car. Ivy was under the dashboard, and the driver was in the front seat. His airbag went off. I ended up being in the hospital for over a month, and it was one of the worst times of my life. I have never been more depressed and down on myself than I was in those moments. I broke my pelvis completely in half. I broke my mandible, and I also broke my cheekbone on the left side. And I had so much nerve damage in my right arm that it was unusable. I could not use it. I couldn't bathe, I couldn't brush my teeth, I could do nothing for myself. It was miserable being in that situation. I didn't know when I was in the hospital how intense it really was and how gruesome that accident was. My parents didn't tell me much about Ivy's situation. I think they wanted to protect me because I was already in so much pain physically, that they didn't want to put that emotional trauma on top of that. I ended up being in the UVA hospital in Charlottesville, and Ivy was in the Lynchburg General Hospital. And I remember when I came home, we visited her, and when I saw her, it wasn't her. The Ivy that I knew was so full of life and so strong. She was the type of person who could brighten your day. She could just put a smile on your face no matter what. And that was not her in the hospital. Ivy was in the front seat, and her airbag never went off. And we hit an embankment going about 70 miles per hour. That's not going to be a good outcome. When I saw her, she had all of her hair shaved off. They had to remove part of her skull because of her brain swelling. She was in a coma, but her eyes were open due to her certain type of coma that she was in. And she couldn't do anything. She couldn't talk. She couldn't do anything except look at you. And to see somebody that you love in a situation like that is so heartbreaking. Ivy fought really hard in the hospital. She had all of her strength, And to see her in that hospital getting worse and worse and worse as time went on was heartbreaking. It was just awful to watch someone you love just disintegrate in front of you. She hung on for 4 months until she passed away in February 27th of 2016 at the age of 19. And she fought so hard, but it just overcame her and took her. And I have really struggled with that loss because it felt so unfair for her to have her life snatched away from her like that, when that was never something that should have happened. She should still be alive today. And today is November 24th, 2018. Tomorrow, November 25th, would be her 22nd birthday. And she's not here to celebrate that and to be alive. And that's what's so difficult to deal with, because she should be here and she's not. And even though the guy who did this to us is in jail, it doesn't take away the fact that she's not here, because she should be and she never will be. You can't take that back. Things like that can't be fixed. All you can do is try to move forward and try and hope for the best. And that's what I try to do. And if there is anything that I can leave with you, it's that this could happen to you. It could happen to anyone. And you always think that this could happen to the other person, but you are the other person to someone.